Welcome to Bundesliga Chat Time from We Are Soccer. I'm here with our resident Bundesliga expert, Nate Janulis, to break down everything Bundesliga. Nate, how you doing, buddy?
Always good, and I am a resident of my house.
And the We Are Soccer resident Bundesliga expert. Lots to get to, my friend, lots to get to. Bayern did what Bayern does, and they went big this past weekend. Leverkusen hit their stride and scored 3 against your Stuttgart, and Wolfsburg slip up out of the top spot. Let's jump right in, man. Why don't we start with Bayern Munich? Since Oktoberfest was canceled for the second year in a row due to COVID, Bayern Munich again paid homage with a one-off kit this past weekend and a big 7-0 rout over VfL Bochum. The heavy rout saw Lewandowski, the golden shoe winner, become the first ever player to score in 13 consecutive Bundesliga home games, and he has now scored in 19 games in a row in all competitions. This streak goes back all the way to February. He's a legend. He keeps scoring goals. It's great to see. Let's chat about this game, though. Bayern hitting 7 goals over Bochum. What's your thoughts, man?
I mean, everyone who's going to look at this goes, oh, well, this is why the Bundesliga sucks. Reality is Bochum has not been very good. They just got promoted. I guess 2 out of the 3 teams within 2 years get relegated after promotion. So this is one of the teams that kind of snuck in. I mean, hats off to them for being promoted, but reality is they're not a really good side. You know, they're not lighting the table on fire. They have 1 win and 4 losses as it is anyways. So they came out, with their first game was a win. Good for them. And they looked good. Since then, they've been on the slide. Yeah. And so I wouldn't expect Munich to do many of these 7-0 wins if you look at it. But you look at the team; it is stacked. They gave a pounding to Barcelona on Wednesday, 0-3. And you got to ask yourself, well, is Bochum as good as Barcelona? The answer is probably not. Yeah. So it just tells you the strength of this team, again, the strength of the side, the players they have, and the weapons they have at their disposal. And I said it last week. I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it. I think they're going to be in the final of the Champions League. I think they're going to be a tough team to beat. This does create an oddity, though, for the league as we go forward, and hopefully there are other teams that are going to challenge Munich, because the heads of the Bundesliga are becoming a little bit worried of the constant Munich winning and how that represents and looks for the league.
Yep.
How they fix that. So there's been thoughts and ideas on how to fix it. A lot of it has to go with the payment structure. They have one of the strictest caps in all the leagues. It's more stricter than financial fair play even has. And there's ways you can adjust that, not to hinder a team, but to help other teams spend more money and open up their purse books. The reason why Munich, they don't get around anything, but their perpetual winning of a Champions League, and gaining that money provides them that extra capital, if you will. So
I completely understand that, but it also comes down to things like a lot of other teams in the Bundesliga sell their star players. So, for instance, Borussia Dortmund, right? They just sold Jadon Sancho. It looks like they're grooming Jude Bellingham to sell him in the next 2 years. They sold Pulisic 2 years ago. They groom these young kids and then sell them. They buy them low and sell high. It's just what they do. That's their business model. So, if Dortmund had held on to all those players, they would be challenging 100% and maybe even being better right now than.
Well, and then that comes to the financial aspect, the one that these clubs have to operate at a profit. They can't operate at negative or in the black. And 2, the wage issues that the wage to capital coming in that the league enforces on them. So again, that the selling of the players or letting players go because they want to make more money or go elsewhere, has to do with those along lines, and that's where you make that adjustment.
Sure. Yeah, there's a whole, I mean, we could do a whole segment, a whole day of talking on that, jumping down that rabbit hole, right? But something does need to happen because a lot of people are becoming disinterested when they see Bayern Munich scoring 7 goals and winning 5-1, 5-0, 7-0 every week. So something does have to be done, and I'm sure it will be in the next couple of years.
And you look at the rest of the league, and it's highly competitive up and down everywhere else. And this is kind of more of a modern, within this last decade, this dominance that's been going on. Yeah. And then you look at even how the Pokal Cup turns out. It's not Munich every year when you look at that tournament. So there's other aspects to the league. It just that everyone always looks at the top of the table. Who's the top of the table? And I mean, also hate to say it, you look at the Champions League the last few years, who's perpetually in the final in the Champions League, who's perpetually won it a decent amount of times. It's Munich. So it has nothing to do with the league either.
Yep, this is true. This is 100% true.
But I mean, back to the game. I mean, that was Kimmich's first career brace, which was nice for him to get. He's definitely a great player. And Choupo-Moting proved at the end that if you keep striking a ball repeatedly at a goalkeeper, eventually it's going to go in. So those were those highlights.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much to say. Bochum are second from bottom in the league. This game was never going to be. I mean, it was a long shot for them to win or even draw. So, yeah, it was all over early. Bayern Munich did what Bayern Munich does. They're one of the strongest teams in the world, playing a team that was newly promoted and second from bottom currently with 1 win, as you had mentioned. It was only ever going to end one way. Again, I mean, as I spoke about at the beginning, Robert Lewandowski just keeps going, man. Just keeps scoring goals. 19 games in a row, he scored a goal.
Yep.
Breaking records all over the place.
And thoroughly enjoyed that goal. Should have got that golden shoe that he got. So
Exactly.
That's a good recognition for him. Well deserved. And we'll get into it a little bit later, but he's actually tied right now with another player for goals scored in the Bundesliga. So it should be an interesting race with that.
I wonder who he's tied with. Well, let's jump into the next game on my list here. Leverkusen win 3-1 over Stuttgart. I don't have too much to say about this game. I'm going to let you do the talking. Tell us what happened. What went wrong, buddy? What happened here?
A lot went wrong. Florian Wirtz was what went wrong, and it basically was the Florian Wirtz show that day. Yeah. Now it started out with him with the Andrich goal off the cross, which was an incredible cross. 2 minutes in, not good, leaky defense. Said in the beginning, not having Anton there because the red card is going to be a big issue for them. The Schuck goal that came from Florian Wirtz's assist, where he literally flicked the ball over the defender, ran around him, crossed it in for Schuck to have his goal, led to a close-up of the sporting director of Stuttgart just standing there, shaking his head in disbelief that his defender was basically depantsed in the middle of the field. Now, the interesting that happened was Andrich then decided to take his foot and put it through Kabali's knee in the middle of the field, which led to at first a yellow card, but then after a second look, deservingly was given a red card, and the guy was escorted off the field because that was a really bad tackle.
Yep. Flying
sidekick, cleat up, right in. Not good. So from there, Stuttgart had then started dominating possession. They started playing a lot better. They had one go in, which was good in the 38th minute. At the end of the day, Florian Wirtz split 2 defenders in the 70th, put it away, and they just couldn't find that ball in the final third to really kind of pull the lead against Leverkusen and get anything back. It was the dominated possession. They had a lot of chances. There was a lot of fouls this game. Even after that, I think it counted something around 22 fouls in the game total for between both teams. Stuttgart's still missing a ton of players. They're still missing. They're getting them back slowly but surely. This was one that would have been nice to win, but I think Leverkusen is just a better side.
Stuttgart got to pick it up a little bit, man. Played 5 games, won 1, lost 3, -3 goal difference. Your boys got to start picking it up here, and when injuries and suspensions they're taking their toll early. So
that's okay. They're playing Bochum next, so
I don't think they'll win 7-0, but you never know. But it should be a guaranteed 3 points. So you're telling me if I'm a betting man, I should be betting a lot of money on Stuttgart?
I would go for it. Why not?
All right. Well, when I lose my $100, I'm coming knocking on your door.
I got
5. All right. So Leverkusen, though, man, they're playing well. They sold 1 or 2 players, and they're up to 4th in the division with 10 points, 3 wins out of 5. Still playing really well, even after selling Leon Bailey to Aston Villa. So.
Yeah, and they're a fun counter-attacking team. Florian Wirtz, like I said, is a hell of a player and is going to be a hell of a player the rest of throughout the league and for the German national team. Their quick counter-attacking style actually didn't go away that whole game. They tried to catch Stuttgart several times and almost did several times, even with men down. So they will be, I think, a fun team for the rest of the time to watch. Going forward in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then Borussia Dortmund, 4-2 winners over Union Berlin. Erling Haaland, 2 more goals. The guy cannot stop scoring, and one of those goals was just right out of the Zlatan bag of tricks, right? Such a nice goal. So, I mean, I talk to me about this. The Borussia Dortmund doing what Borussia Dortmund do again, man. They are up there. They're 3rd right now with 12 points, 4 wins out of 5 games. Man, oh man, they are fun to watch as well.
Now I know you're hot for Haaland, but I think the Guerrero goal at the 10th minute, where he put that thing in, the very first goal of the game was incredibly nice. Yeah, this was a interesting game, back and forth a little bit, with Guerrero, then Haaland with the header, then them getting the penalty kick and having the goal, and then Volksheimer, the 81st minute goal, as well. It's kind of interesting. Dortmund has defensive problems. They still have defensive problems. They need to kind of shore up the back line a little bit because they let in a lot of goals. But at the same time, they score a lot. So there you go. The new coach, I mean, he's kind of expanding on it a bit and not trying to do full-on changes, which is good, and it's working on him. And that's what Nagelsmann's doing as well.
Yep.
It's not what another coach is doing, and we'll get to that in a minute. But he's just building off what was already there. Yeah. And I think Dortmund can challenge Munich if they shore up their backline problems and that they have a sound strategy against them. We'll see how it goes when they actually face each other in the league. But I think, with Haaland and the firepower they got, Bellingham looked great again.
Yep.
Reina, when he comes back, will slot right back in. And the team's a solid team that I think is going to go decent in the Champions League and be at the top of the table. I mean, they're already in the hunt right now, right? So 1 point out of first, I believe. And that is correct. 1 point out of first. So, so there you go. And we'll see how they going forward. They're really kind of keeping the pace there, and it'll be interesting.
Like you said, though, just got to shore up that defense. Can't leak goals in because
very leaky.
Championships are built on defense and keeping the other team out. A team that was or has been at the top of the division for the last couple of weeks, Wolfsburg, drop points. And they tie Frankfurt 1-1. So they fall into 2nd spot in the league, with Bayern Munich going 1 because of goal difference. So that was kind of a game you and I pinpointed last week, saying that Wolfsburg-Frankfurt game is going to be a good one. So that's the first game that Wolfsburg have dropped points in.
Yeah. This was one where I expected Wolfsburg to win because Frankfurt's been struggling. massively. But they dominated the game as far as possession standpoint. They had 60%. They dominated the game as far as total shots on the against Frankfurt. And this one actually had a lot of fouls as well. I think 30 some fouls actually between both teams. They had a lot of near misses. Wolfsburg had a lot of like just off the post, like near misses here and there. It was one of those nights where it was like half an inch off from being a goal. Other than that, they really kind of controlled this game for the most part. Other than Frankfurt scoring first. After that, they basically held the game at their will and pinned Frankfurt back. So it'll be interesting again how they go forward, how they continue playing. They have a good side as well, a side that plays very well defensively and also kind of works together. And we'll see how they kind of continue going. Werder's had a great goal. Should have had another one. Kind of got pulled down in the box, but he was offside. So it was one of those like, what happens first, right? And he appealed for it, but didn't get it. Wildschmidt came in. He wasn't too bad. He kind of had the hit that led to the Werder's goal. And the right back, Mubabu, which is a fun name to say, if I'm saying it right, was all over the field. All over the field that game and looked phenomenal just with how he was carrying the ball forward in the attack and is an exciting player to watch. Brooks didn't play that game. I don't know if that was just to give him a rest or whatnot, but they sat him for various reasons, possibly because of form.
Yeah, possibly he's just, last couple of weeks, as we said, playing for the U.S. men's national team, lost his head a little bit, lost form, went back to Wolfsburg, lost his head, lost form. So maybe they decided to sit him for a week or two and it never hurts to sit someone once they've lost form and see if they can get their head right again. One of the other games you and I were talking about that we wanted to watch this past weekend was Cologne and Leipzig. So Cologne won, RB Leipzig won. Draw on that game. What you got? What's your thoughts, my friend?
Well, I never thought I'd be saying this in the beginning of the year that the Cologne, 7th place Cologne, was able to hold on to a draw against the 12th place Leipzig. Starting to become a bit of a problem here for our man Jesse Marsch. He's got to kind of pick it up. As far as the game goes, it was an exciting back and forth game. To be honest, it was quite even. 14 shots for Cologne, 19 shots for Leipzig. Both kind of went at each other back and forth. Possession was relatively even. My favorite part of this is that Anthony Modeste got the goal for Cologne, and he's got actually 4 this year. And he has one of the best player songs there are in all of football. It's awesome. I posted it on the page. Go look at it. It's super German, super great, and all of its glory. But he netted a goal after being like offside twice and scoring and then having him be called back. So he gets one of the keep just going boy awards and finally got his, which was, again, good on him. Leipzig, they have all the talent in the world and they're just not doing it. And the rumor is, much of the rumor is unlike these other new coaches that came in that are slowly implementing their system, Marsch has basically said, here's what you did under Nagelsmann, and I'm going to take that, throw it away, and we're now going to run. Apparently, that's what he also did in Salzburg, and it was very tough on the players and very confusing in the beginning as well, but eventually it came through. So this is apparently might be Marsch's MO, is that's just how he does it. So that could lead to the struggles and confusion. And even what we saw in the Champions League with players passing notes around to each other to figure out what was going on. So quite frankly, I'm not a massive fan of it because they did good last year. So to scrap everything right off the bat versus slowly implementing is not very good. Even the Wolfsburg coach made the comment because Frankfurt's coach was the old coach last year. At the end of the game, Van Bommel gave compliments to the Frankfurt coach. He said, yeah, much of what they did that was here last year, we're still doing, and I'm slowly starting to implement my system. So
There's two theories, right? Slowly implement or scrap it, and I want to do my own. And obviously, Marsh has had success doing that before, but it takes time. And we are only 5 games into the season. You know, there's a lot of soccer still to be played. So I see where you're going, but you know, time will tell. We're 5 games in, and I get it. They've only got 4 points out of 5 games. It doesn't look good, but
no,
if he has the support of the upper management and the owners, you know, it's time will tell. Time will tell.
but again, my most favorite moment of the whole game was Anthony Modeste getting subbed off and all the Cologne fans singing the Modeste song. It was awesome.
We're gonna have to put a link when we post this video for that song so people can hear it. Yeah.
Yes. Legend.
All right. Well, that takes care of those games from this past weekend. The games upcoming this weekend, any ones that stick out to you? I know we've already mentioned Stuttgart are playing Bochum. That game is at 9:30 on Sunday morning on ESPN Plus. Sponsorship ESPN Plus coming at us. We'll help you out. We'll get you some more viewers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure why not, right?
Yeah, exactly. What do they got to lose? And then Bayern Munich play Firth. So they played Bochum last week.
I would
second from bottom. Now they play Firth, who are bottom, and it's like, good Lord. I mean, they could stick 9 past Firth this upcoming week. That game's on Saturday at 2:30, also on ESPN Plus. And then obviously some decent games coming up on Saturday. We've got Wolfsburg and Hoffenheim, Mönchengladbach and Dortmund. Any games specifically that are sticking out to you that you're going to sit down and go, this is one I want to watch full with?
Leverkusen Mainz. Mainz has been performing very well. Yep. The Mainz coach, he comes from a pedigree. That's where Tuchel came from originally. Mm-hmm. That's where Klopp came from originally. Mm-hmm. And they're really toting this guy up as the next big thing there as far as coaching goes. Bo Scheven, the Denmark coach, and he's done some really nice things with Mainz, and they're not performing bad. So that should be a very interesting game to watch. Leverkusen Mainz. Mm-hmm. I would turn into Leipzig versus Hertha because eventually they're going to win, maybe. So
hopefully for Jesse Marsh, they do. Hopefully, man, they need points, as we just said.
I can't turn it off. I have to watch. You know. Yeah, Gladbach versus Dortmund. I think Dortmund's gonna handily beat Gladbach. They're struggling this year.
Yeah.
Wolfsburg versus Hoffenheim should be pretty interesting because Hoffenheim hasn't been banned, and if you're a US fan, you got your defender Richards playing there, and I think Freiburg-Augsburg should be an interesting game at the end of the day. Freiburg has been performing well, slowly staying mid-table, trying to move up into the higher 5th and 4th rounds there. They're doing well, and Augsburg they pulled one against Gladbach this week, so that should be an interesting game as well.
All right. Well, lots of games to look forward to this upcoming weekend. All right, man. Another successful Bundesliga chat time here from We Are Soccer. Nate, you're proving that you are the expert once again with all these details and little facts and knowledge pieces you bring to the show. So really appreciate it. Anything before we close up you want to chat about? Are we good to go, my friend?
Good to go. Just make sure you listen to the Anthony Modeste song.
We'll post that link for sure when we post the video. So awesome. All right, buddy. Thanks. And we'll talk again next week. Thanks. This is a wrap for Bundesliga Chat Time. Cheers, my friend.
Prost.